Have you ever noticed that the deeper your spiritual awareness grows, the quieter you become? Carl Jung once said, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are." But on that path of awakening, there are truths so sacred, so powerful, that sharing them with the wrong person can drain their magic and distort your growth. Today, we'll explore 5 things you should never reveal to anyone if you are truly spiritually awake. Not out of secrecy, but out of wisdom. Because silence is not emptiness, it's protection. Every spiritual journey begins with something unexplainable, a dream that lingers after waking, a sudden surge of peace, a voice that isn't a voice but a knowing that feels older than time. It rarely starts with thunder or miracles. It begins with a whisper. Something stirs inside you, calling you toward what you cannot name. These are sacred moments. They don't belong to logic, nor do they need validation. They are messages from the unconscious, as Carl Jung described it, that vast ocean beneath our waking mind, where symbols, memories, and archetypes speak in a language beyond words. When you begin to hear that language, your awakening has already begun. But here lies the first lesson of spiritual maturity. Not everything sacred is meant to be shared. When you reveal your deepest spiritual experiences too soon, you invite them into a world that might not be ready to receive them. And the world, in its blindness, can wound what it doesn't understand. Imagine you tell someone about a dream so vivid, it felt more real than life. A dream that shifted your soul. They might laugh, analyze, or politely dismiss it as just your imagination. What was luminous becomes small. What was sacred turns ordinary. Not because the dream lost power, but because you handed it to a mind that doesn't yet speak its language. Jung said that symbols are the natural language of the soul. They are bridges between the conscious and the unconscious, between who you think you are and who you truly are. When others cannot cross that bridge, they pull you back to safety, to normality, and in that return, part of your revelation fades. Your spiritual experiences are like seeds. Plant them too shallow, and they dry in the sun of other people's opinions. Let them rest in silence, in the soil of your own reflection, and they will grow roots strong enough to bear the weight of disbelief. Silence is not secrecy, it is protection. It allows your insights to mature from emotion into understanding, from vision into wisdom. Just as the chrysalis guards the butterfly's transformation, your inner world needs privacy to unfold its wings. Many who awaken feel a burning desire to share, to tell others what they've seen, to awaken the world. But the truth is, the world awakens slowly. Each soul must come to its own realization in its own time. If you speak too soon, you may scatter your light into ears that cannot yet hear. Hold your sacred moments close, not out of fear, but out of reverence. Write them down. Meditate on them. Let them breathe inside you until they become part of your essence rather than stories seeking validation. Remember, even Jesus spoke in parables, not because he wished to hide the truth, but because truth must find its own timing in the heart of the listener. Likewise, your experiences are not meant to convince anyone. They are meant to transform you. There will come a time when your silence becomes radiant, when your presence carries what words never could. By then, you won't need to explain what you've lived. Others will feel it. Wisdom speaks through energy long before it speaks through sound. So when the next mystical moment touches you, when you sense guidance in coincidence, when you feel a light move through your chest, when a dream seems to answer a question you never asked, pause, breathe, thank it. Do not rush to announce it. Let it echo in your heart until the echo becomes harmony. Because every sacred experience is a conversation between your soul and the divine. And conversations that intimate are meant to be listened to, not broadcasted. Jung believed that the unconscious seeks to make itself known through symbols, dreams, and intuition, yet it retreats when exposed to disbelief or ridicule. Protect that dialogue. Guard it as you would guard a fragile flame in the wind. The world may not understand your experiences, but that doesn't make them less real. Truth doesn't need witnesses to exist, it simply is. So if you are spiritually awake, remember this. Not all revelations demand an audience. Some are meant to shape you in silence until the day your actions, your calm, and your compassion become the living testimony of what you've seen. When that day comes, you'll understand why the sages, the mystics, and the awakened ones smiled but rarely explained. They knew that some light, when exposed too early, blinds rather than guides. Keep your deepest spiritual experiences within your heart until they mature into wisdom. Only then will you know how or if to share them. Awakening is never just light. It is light meeting shadow. Every step toward consciousness casts a darker outline behind you. And that darkness, what Carl Jung called the shadow, is not evil. It is simply the part of you that has been exiled from awareness. When you begin to awaken, the first thing you discover is not eternal peace, but internal chaos. The forgotten emotions, the buried memories, the traits you swore were not me, start knocking at the door of your mind. They want to be seen. They demand integration. This is what Jung meant by the confrontation with the shadow. It is the most painful and the most necessary phase of transformation. You meet the anger you hid beneath politeness. You meet the fear disguised as control. You meet the jealousy you masked as self-protection. And when you look long enough, you realize none of it was trying to destroy you. It was only asking to be loved. But here lies a quiet truth. Never reveal your shadow work to those who have not met their own darkness. People who still live asleep will not see your healing. They will see weakness. They may judge what they don't understand or offer advice that turns depth into drama. To the unawakened, your tears are a problem to fix. To the awakened, they are a baptism. Growth that happens in silence grows roots. When you share your struggle too early, others may uproot the seed before it blooms. They will call your night a failure because they've never learned that night itself is part of the dawn. The shadow is not an enemy, it is a mirror. It shows you everything that needs your acceptance, not your punishment. Jung wrote that one does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. The light you seek is hidden inside the very emotions you fear to face. So, let the darkness speak. Let the rage, the envy, the grief, and the shame rise like storms inside you. Do not deny them. Hold them. Observe their shape. Ask what they are protecting. Behind every destructive impulse lies a wounded child seeking safety. Behind every mask lies a soul begging for honesty. Working with your shadow is sacred labor. It is digging through emotional soil to plant a new consciousness, but it is not for public display. The world loves the image of awakening, not the process. It applauds enlightenment, but avoids the mess that births it. You owe no one the story of your scars. Some wounds heal only when they are not exposed to noise or scrutiny. Let your transformation happen in the privacy of your inner temple. Cry where no one applauds. Forgive yourself where no one sees, because what is born in darkness carries the strength of roots. What grows only in sunlight is easily burned. There will be days when you feel you are regressing, when the old patterns return, when the mind screams louder than the soul. Remember, healing is not a straight line. The spiral brings you back to what you thought was finished so you can meet it with greater compassion. Each return is not failure, it is deepening. The shadow's purpose is integration, not annihilation. You are not supposed to kill your darkness, but to listen until it tells you its name. When you do, you discover that darkness and light are not enemies. They are partners in the creation of the whole self. Keep your inner battles sacred. Do not post them, perform them, or seek validation for them. Validation is temporary. Transformation is eternal. What matters is not who sees your struggle, but who you become because of it. In time, your silence will start to glow. People will sense a calm around you and will not know why. That calm is the peace of someone who has walked through their own fire and no longer fears it. So, guard your process with tenderness. Be patient with the nights when you forget the light. And when the storm passes, as it always does, you will not need to tell anyone what happened inside you. Your presence will say it all, because growth that happens in silence builds roots no storm can uproot. As the soul awakens, the world begins to whisper back. You start to sense patterns where before there was only coincidence. Your intuition sharpens, energy becomes tangible, and moments of profound insight seem to arrive from nowhere. Yet somewhere deep inside, you know they come from within. These new sensitivities feel magical, but Jung warned of a hidden danger: inflation, the subtle illusion that spiritual gifts make you special or above others. The ego, clever as ever, tries to steal the credit for what the spirit reveals. It dresses enlightenment in pride and turns light into performance. True spirituality is humble. It knows that gifts are not trophies, they are responsibilities. When you sense the pain of another before they speak, it is not so you can boast of your empathy, but so you can hold them with gentleness. When synchronicities align around you, it is not proof that you are chosen. It is a reminder that you are connected. The soul does not awaken to impress, it awakens to serve. But the moment you start to share every sign, every vision, every intuitive spark with the world, something delicate begins to fade. Energy leaks through words. Mystery loses its fragrance when constantly exposed to noise and opinion. Your light dims, not because others stole it, but because you gave it away for recognition. Keep your light sacred. Let your gifts breathe in silence until they mature into wisdom. Use them quietly, not to prove anything, but to heal, beginning with yourself. The universe entrusts its power only to those who can carry it with reverence. Jung once wrote that no tree can grow to heaven unless its roots reach down to hell. That means that every genuine gift is balanced by humility. Every flash of insight is grounded in shadow work. If you refuse to stay humble, your gifts can become distorted. The healer who forgets to heal himself, the teacher who preaches but no longer listens. It's easy to fall in love with the feeling of power that awakening brings. You see beyond illusion, you sense truth instantly, you can feel the vibration of another person's pain. But remember, the light that blinds is the same light that guides. Without humility, illumination turns to arrogance and insight turns into ideology. Protect your gifts the way a candle protects its flame from the wind. You don't need to prove that you can see energy or sense emotion. The universe already knows. Your task is not to show the power, it's to become trustworthy enough to hold it. Think of the mystics, the sages, the true masters. They rarely spoke of their abilities. They let their presence reveal their depth. Their calm healed more than their words ever could. That's the secret of spiritual maturity, silent influence. The ego shouts, the soul whispers. The more you awaken, the less you need to announce it. You realize that what others call miracles are simply the natural laws of consciousness working without resistance. And so you live quietly yet powerfully, a vessel of grace in an ordinary life. When you stop seeking to display your gifts, something beautiful happens. They deepen. Intuition sharpens. Healing flows effortlessly because you are no longer the doer, you are the channel. The divine current moves through you, not from you. So when you feel energy rising in your hands, or visions coming in dreams, or words forming in silence, honor them, but do not rush to explain. Bow to the mystery, whisper your gratitude, and carry on. The more you keep sacred things sacred, the more the sacred will trust you with deeper truths. And when someone asks, "How did you know?" simply smile, because the brightest flame doesn't announce its fire, it simply burns. Let your light speak through your kindness, your patience, your authenticity. That's how gifts fulfill their purpose. Not by being admired, but by transforming everything they touch. The world needs light bearers who walk humbly, those who shine without spotlight, who serve without noise, who live as proof that divinity still moves through human hands. Be one of them. Carry your gifts quietly, and they will carry you further than pride ever could. Every awakened soul eventually hears a call, a whisper that says, "There is something only you can do." It may not arrive with clarity at first. It comes as an ache, a pull, a repeated dream, a strange coincidence that keeps showing up until you finally listen. This is your inner purpose, the blueprint your soul carried long before the world taught you who to be. It isn't a career, a role, or a title. It's the quiet realization that your existence itself has meaning. But remember, not everyone will see what you see. When you begin to awaken, the world around you often remains asleep. People who live by logic will question what you feel in your bones. They will ask for proof of what can only be sensed. And if you reveal your vision too early, their doubts may wrap around it like cold hands around a flame. Dreams are delicate when they are young. They are like seeds, full of infinite potential, yet easily crushed by impatience or criticism. They don't need the spotlight. They need soil. They need quiet, time, and faith. Carl Jung understood this. He wrote, "The vision will become clear only when you look into your heart. Who looks outside dreams. Who looks inside awakens." Your purpose is not found in the noise of the world. It's born in the stillness of your own heart. Looking outside brings distraction. Looking inside brings direction. When you first glimpse your vision, it can feel enormous, almost frightening. You sense what you're meant to create, heal, or teach. Yet the gap between who you are and who you must become seems endless. This tension is sacred. It's the pressure that forms authenticity. Don't rush to explain it to others. Let it shape you first. Many people lose their calling not because it wasn't real, but because they sought validation before maturity. When the seed of purpose is planted, it speaks a private language until it takes root in your daily life, in your habits, your patience, your discipline. It cannot survive exposure to doubt. Protect your calling the way a mother protects her unborn child. It grows in silence. It feeds on faith. It's not yet ready to face the world's noise. You will know it's maturing when the desire for recognition fades and the desire to serve increases. True purpose never says, "Look at me." It says, "Let me be of use." It transforms from ambition into contribution. Every great teacher, artist, or visionary went through a season of hidden growth, the desert before the revelation. Even Jesus disappeared from the public eye for years before his message was ready. Moses wandered. Buddha sat under the tree in silence. Jung spent decades studying his own unconscious before sharing his insights. They all understood that the outer work must wait for the inner foundation. So when your dream feels small or uncertain, don't despair. That is how all sacred visions begin, not as thunder, but as whisper. Tend to it quietly. Let life refine you until your purpose no longer feels like something you chase, but something you are. And if others question your path, smile gently. They cannot see what you see because the vision was given to you, not to them. It was tailored to your wounds, your gifts, your lessons, your evolution. No one else can carry it. Keep your purpose between you and the divine until it grows strong enough to stand in the open. When the time is right, the right people will recognize it without you saying a word. They will feel it in your energy, in the calm confidence of someone who knows why they're here. Purpose is not noise, it's resonance. When you align with it, life begins to cooperate with you. Doors open not through force but through flow. Synchronicities appear, guiding you step by step. And through it all, humility must stay beside you, reminding you that you are not the source of the vision, only its vessel. The river doesn't boast about the sea it reaches, it simply keeps flowing. So guard your vision, nurture it, and let it teach you patience. Because one day, when it has matured in silence, it will rise from you naturally, like light from dawn, unstoppable, undeniable, and radiant. Protect your calling until it grows strong enough to withstand the noise of the world. And when that moment arrives, speak not to convince, but to serve. Then the world will listen, because your words will no longer come from ambition, but from truth. The final truth you must keep sacred is the path itself. Your awakening is not a map that anyone else can follow. It's a river that flows only through the terrain of your own soul. It cannot be copied, compared, or explained. Every step you take is a conversation between you and the divine, between your conscious self and the deeper intelligence that guides your becoming. When you try to justify your awakening to others, you drain its essence. When you protect it, you deepen it. Because the moment you turn your inner journey into a performance, you begin to live for approval rather than truth. No one can truly understand your path, not even those who love you. And that's not because they don't care, it's because your awakening is written in a language that only your soul can read. It is the alphabet of dreams, synchronicities, symbols, and silences. To the logical mind, it will always sound like poetry, beautiful but incomprehensible. So walk quietly. Let your path reveal itself through your being, not your explanations. Carl Jung understood this deeply. He knew that enlightenment isn't the achievement of perfection, but the integration of opposites, the meeting of light and shadow within one conscious heart. He called this individuation the process of becoming whole, of uniting all parts of yourself into harmony. That process is sacred, and sacred things lose their power when exposed too early. In your silence, something extraordinary happens. The truth matures. You begin to see that enlightenment is not a destination waiting at the top of a mountain. It's the quiet transformation happening in each step you take. In each moment you choose awareness instead of reaction, compassion instead of control, presence instead of performance. Not everyone will understand your silence, but your silence will understand you. The world has been trained to mistake noise for meaning and visibility for value, but the awakened soul knows that the greatest power is invisible, like gravity, like breath, like love. The most luminous truths are those that make no sound. Protect your inner peace the way a gardener protects the seed from frost. Don't let other people's confusion become your distraction. Don't let their disbelief make you doubt your knowing. They cannot see what you see because they are not standing where you stand. Their light will come when they are ready, just as yours came when you were. Remember this, you don't need to prove your light. You only need to live it. Every time you choose patience over pride, empathy over ego, presence over performance, you are proving it already. Your life becomes the sermon. Your energy becomes the scripture. Your silence becomes the prayer. As you walk this path, you will notice something else. The more you awaken, the less you need to speak. Words become too small to hold what you feel. The peace that once came and went now stays. You begin to live not as a seeker, but as a presence. Others will sense it. They will come to you not because of what you say, but because of what they feel when they're near you. That is the highest teaching. When your presence itself becomes the message, the awakened do not preach, they radiate. Let your light move quietly through the world, like sunlight filtering through trees. Let your kindness heal more than your opinions. Let your peace teach more than your words ever could. And remember, this path never truly ends. Enlightenment is not a final state. It's a continuous deepening, a lifelong unfolding of awareness. Each layer you shed reveals another truth. Each silence brings a new understanding. Protect your path, nurture it, and trust it, even when it feels uncertain, even when you walk alone, even when no one understands. Know that you are guided. The same intelligence that spins galaxies moves within you. You are both the traveler and the trail. You are both the student and the lesson. In the end, you'll see that enlightenment is not about escaping the world, it's about returning to it fully awake, carrying light into the ordinary. You'll eat, laugh, love, and work as before, yet everything will feel sacred. Every breath will be a prayer, every moment will be a mirror of the divine. So walk gently, speak less, shine quietly, and let your life itself become the proof that awakening was never about becoming someone new. It was about remembering who you already are. If these words resonated with your soul, like this video, subscribe and comment below. My silence is my strength. Share this with someone walking their spiritual path, because sometimes the quietest message is the one that awakens the loudest light.